Jeez, yeah, there we are. Right, yeah.
Technology.
Technology, yeah, it's pretty good that we. I might close the window here. I'm pretty clear, am I?
Yeah, very clear. Very clear.
Yeah. Oh, I just had one of those days now.
Did you?
Yeah.
Busy?
Oh, just kids and.
Oh, yeah.
All that. Do
I
you have
know
any kids?
Kids. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Quite a few. I have 7 actually.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I do. Well, they're not that young anymore, but yeah, I had 7.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can understand, Frank.
Yeah, I had a few today. Some of them kind of funny. Some of them, the kind of funny one is I went upstairs and I left my 12-year-old and I said, just have something to eat, but don't have something sweet, please. And so then I forgot something and I came back downstairs and he had a Nutella sandwich with the Nutella. Literally, it was this thick inside the bread.
Oh, yeah.
And then so I said to him, right, here's the options I gave him. I said, okay, you have a choice. I'll make you a salad sandwich with tomatoes, onions, salad cream, ham, or you don't have your phone for 2 weeks. And
okay. Yeah.
So guess what he chose?
Yeah, the Nutella.
He chose no phone for 2 weeks instead of a salad sandwich. I mean,
he did. Oh my word. Okay. He's a kid. He's a kid. Unexpected.
A salad sandwich. That's your consequence for eating the Nutella. You have to have a salad sandwich or lose your phone for 2 weeks. And he said, no phone.
Whoa. The new generation, man. The new generation.
A salad sandwich. Well, maybe it's good. He's not so addicted to stupid phone.
Yeah. It doesn't last too long to eat it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah. I had a busy day too. Some work and late night. But we're okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was out earlier thinking about this, thinking about our chat, thinking about this idea of non-duality, and not even an idea, but it's kind of going, yeah. I have no idea how to begin even.
That's typical. You said that's typical, you know.
Yeah.
In reality, there's very little to say, you know, in reality, but, you know, yeah.
Yeah. It's not an antidote for anything.
I know it's not, for sure. For sure.
Mm.
Yeah, what can we say? It's very simple and ordinary, actually. You know, that's why it's hard sometimes to make a big statement to start with, because it's so simple. You know, it's just very ordinary. Non-duality is very ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to kind of, in reality, what happened when you want to speak about it, I mean, it requires some kind of a trigger to start, because if not, I mean, I know for myself, basically, in my day-to-day life, because, well, I'm working, you know, full-time and everything. So I never really even think of non-duality. I never talk about non-duality. really in a day-to-day life. It's not something, no, it's not a state of mind and something you try to preserve throughout the day. You're not trying to be non-dual. You're not, acting non-dual, thinking non-dual, and make sure you're not, moving out of non-duality or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what I mean? It's just, that's just the way it is, simply. And it's only because there is some kind of a trigger, some kind of a conversation, somebody that kind of ask about it, then it starts a conversation, Or of course, if I do a video, if I read about it, if I listen to somebody talking about it, then it starts the process. But if not, in a day-to-day life, it's not even it's not an issue. It's not something you consider, So if it makes sense.
No, well, it does, because if it was something, I don't think there is an awful lot to be said. See, I mean, some days I kind of sense this everythingness in free flow,
Mm-hmm.
and other days I am seeking to know this free fall. And but I absolutely sense this, that everything is it. And really, how could you be going around trying to be non-dual? Because then it's just somebody with a way to be or a practice, and it wouldn't be a free fall conversation then, or it wouldn't be. It's not.
It would be. It's already It's already duality starting in that case. Thinking about trying to be. That's the big. The big trap of it, because you can't get it, you can't reach it, and that's frustrating. I can imagine it is very frustrating for the one that is engaged to try to get it, and constantly, almost you almost touch it and seems to it's already gone again. It's unreachable, but it seems to be reachable. When you start thinking about it or talking about it, then it seems to be reachable, but then it's always a little further, the carrot, it's staying away.
I'd like, if I was to describe, for me, it would be a kind of a sense of, okay, there's everything within that everything. There's Frank trying to get it, and then it's okay. I'm trying to get it, then it's okay. And it just kind of evaporates. But that sense of then trying to hold on to that idea almost becomes the next loop, and it's then you just realize, oh, this is a lot of shit, this thought pattern. Then
it is actually it is, it is. There was a guy, he called it like we are like dogs barking. I don't know if you heard of this guy called Yuji Krishnamurti. Very interesting fellow. He called it, we are like dogs barking. It's like, it doesn't make sense in reality. Makes sense in the story, but if not, it just doesn't make sense, because there's nothing to really change, nothing to get, nothing to reach, nothing to understand. The usual
words, but you kind of, I kind of go to myself, well, what I mean, it's kind of apparent then the seeking thing is it's just happening, I suppose. You know what I mean? That in the same way that it's maybe not happening. It's happening.
You could say that. Yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it, really.
But it's the urge then to get rid of it.
Yep.
And that's it too, is it?
That is true as well. Yeah, it is always. I mean, anything is it already. So, that's the principle of actually there's, nobody is liberated. We all liberated, or nobody is liberated. Because there's just what is. So there's no such thing as this famous liberation. There is no such thing as this famous enlightenment, because It's just well, I like the term the natural state. It's just the natural state, really, natural state of being that is just as it is, you know. Like I mean, what I feel. So it's like you could say that we are basically like we are in essence we are exactly like animals. We're basic animals, you know. There's no difference between us and the animals, beside the fact that we have the human beings have the ability to be self-conscious, so to be able to be conscious of themselves, their surroundings, and because I think because of that, what happened is the human beings become we feel we don't really mean it necessarily. We feel we are superior to other species
Yeah.
because we have that ability which they don't seem to have. I mean, it's hard to say exactly how they function, but they function very well. You know, there is always in front of me, like there is a window, and there is always a squirrel passing by. You know, it's just, and he's so busy. He's always like, you know, those squirrels. I love squirrels. I think they are the most funny creatures, and it just, you know, they're so busy. They're so active. They seem to know exactly what they're doing. They don't really know really as consciously, but they're so active because it's this mechanism of survival. You know, they just survive. They just live their life. They get the food, they get the shelter, they feed the family. When the family is old enough, they kick them out, possibly, whatever. You know, they just survive, and we are exactly the same, but our the way we survive now is through a system that is very, very sophisticated, very complicated. And so the self in that situation gets really like because it can be complicated. Not to survive. Survival is simple, actually. You know, survival. Basically everybody can manage to get the money, to get the food, to get the place to sleep, and everything. But then there is the demand, the cultural demands of needing more and wanting, and not just practically wanting more, but existentially wanting more, because then culture seems to give us a lot of principles, like being successful, being rich, being free, whatever. And so culture really feeds actually this energetic me that is needing, and then the culture, the system just add to it, and then we get it seems like we get involved in a lot of cultural principles and moral values and stuff which keep on disconnecting us really from the natural state, from just that animalistic, in a good sense, positively speaking, animalistic behavior that's very simple. But yeah, our system is so intricate now that we are completely bombarded by so many things that we feel we have to do. We have to be a certain way. Culture tells us how to be, how to act, how to be a good guy, how to be a moral guy, how to be a loving guy, compassionate, and everything. And while actually this living organism is not even interested at all about all this, not at all. It just doesn't care a bit about whether you're moral, you are a higher person, you are morally an example. Not at all. The living organism, which we are, we only are that, really. And anything else is an added from like culture and from wherever it started, this energetic feeling of being somebody. We just yeah. And so we taken on a ride. We are taken this ride, and it's true that liberation is at the same time that it's the liberation of the energetic sensation then of being someone. It's also the liberation of the cultural, existential cultural input that we getting. It doesn't seem to get in anymore. It's not there anymore, and so you don't really care about anything. In reality, you don't care about anything because beside the survival, but the survival, basically you have your needs and you have your wants. If the needs and the wants are kind of balanced, life is quite simple. But as soon as there is I need more, I need this, I need to be this, or whether, like, again, if it's practical or existential, then the trouble starts, and the complications and the difficulties, and then the obsession. Then the me gets super obsessed. He's very obsessed. The me is so obsessed. It has to be obsessed by something.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Non-duality.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. Sorry. Yeah.
I know. Don't worry.
I had the thought.